This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, it's not over until it's over. Unions are speaking out and they vow to fight to keep Cadbury's open. Further to yesterday's Kayakers in Trouble story, Balclutha reporter Sam White has pictures for us. And Prime Minister Bill English and Aussie PM Malcolm Turnbull are in Queenstown. They're discussing the state of our nations, but they're not talking about chocolate. Good evening with The South Today, I'm Craig Story. The ATU union is refusing to let its members at Cadbury be gagged by the company. Unions are vowing to fight to keep the iconic factory open.
Delegates from the ATU union met this afternoon with Mondelez and Cadbury management. 16-year stalwart factory workers Donna Bulmer and Teresa Gooch left this afternoon's meeting with ATU organiser Mike Kerwood. And all three say the proposal to close the factory is still very fresh.
It's a bit raw at the moment, I think. It's hard to step away from your emotions, you know, what's going on. So hopefully we'll fight and have a chance to win.
The workers say they're going to fight the proposed closure. A sentiment echoed by Mike Kerwood, who says the near 100% unionised workforce is united.
Well, going through the proposal and picking it to pieces, challenge them on it. Yeah, the idea is to challenge them on all that sort of stuff.
Workers learned of the proposed job losses yesterday, with Cadbury's parent company Mondelez issuing staff media packs and warning workers not to speak to media. However, it seems the company backed down on that stance today, allowing these two to talk this afternoon with no fear of reprisals. Mike Kerwood was brief when he was asked if he thought the companies were talking in good faith.
I think these people are, yeah.
He says there were a couple of heated moments at this afternoon's meeting. Another thing concerning unions and workers is Mondelez International's reputation for slash and burn economics. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
The Dunedin cleaner who killed his boss in a brutal hammer attack was today jailed for at least 12 years. Alexander James William Merritt killed 51-year-old Karen Ann Ross in the car park of Spotless Cleaning where the pair worked. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum non-parole period of 12 years when he appeared in the Dunedin High Court this morning. Merritt beat Ms Ross to death with a hammer early on December the 2nd, 2015. Ms Ross was Merritt's supervisor at Spotless Cleaning Services. Merritt had developed ill feeling towards Ms Ross after she raised his lacklustre cleaning of some windows. Merritt also received his first strike under the 3 strikes warning legislation. He had not previously appeared before the court. And further to yesterday's story, a pair of kayakers had to be winched away by rescue helicopter after they became trapped on some rocks at Nugget Point yesterday. Now, Sam White was on the scene and he has more.
2 kayakers had a lucky escape this morning after becoming trapped on some rocks at Nugget Point on the coast near Kaka Point this morning. Police were alerted about 11:30 a.m. that the 2 women were stuck near the cliffs below the Nugget Point lighthouse after being scared by sea lions in the water. They sought shelter on nearby rocks but couldn't get back to land because of rough seas. They were eventually winched to safety by a rescue helicopter sent from Dunedin.
Hopefully we can get their kayaks returned back to them because they are their own kayaks and they are on a kayaking trip.
The rescued pair were taken to the local hospital in Balclutha, Clutha Health First, and treated for minor injuries and mild hypothermia. I'm Samuel White for The South Today.
A vandal has burned an area of side netting on a rope bridge at Jonathan Rhodes Kindergarten in North Dunedin. The netting was only upgraded and replaced a few months ago. About $500 had been spent replacing worn side netting near a fort complex late last year. Staff and parents are very disappointed about the recent damage. Of course, a temporary repair has secured the affected region of netting yesterday, but even that may need to be replaced. Several $1,000s have been spent upgrading play equipment and making improvements in the North East Valley Kindergarten's grounds in recent years. The vandalism has been referred to police, who are investigating, and if you know anything, please contact your local policing agent. Still to come on the South today, ORC testing of Tomahawk Lagoon reveals concerning levels of toxic algae. And it's happy birthday to you, you dear old concrete contractor. Mayor Tim Shadbolt turns 70.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Here is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know, in recent years, the number of New Zealanders dying from melanoma has been as high as the road toll?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Laura and
Tane, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Silverhorn Active Manuka Honey from the natural Manuka forests of New Zealand. Buy one 250-gram pot for $34.90 and get a second pot for half price. Order online at silverhorn.co.nz.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books. With the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Gillian's and Silverhorn bring you Rub of the Green, lawn bowls from around the south. Saturday night at 7, replaying on Sunday at 1 p.m. and Tuesday at 3:30.
Thank you for staying with the South today. The Prime Ministers of New Zealand and Australia met for talks in Queenstown today. The announcement yesterday that Dunedin will be losing Cadbury chocolate making jobs to Australia was not a subject raised by the media during the formal press conference. Afterwards, New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English told the South Today he commiserated with the workers.
Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English reaffirmed the strong bonds between the two countries while addressing the media at Queenstown's Hilton Hotel. But the 6 questions allowed did not touch on the loss to Dunedin's 362 jobs, work to be done from next year in Australia. However, afterwards, Mr. English had this to say.
Well, it's pretty tough for those people. I mean, there's a lot of long-term employees in Cadbury. It's been such a feature of the Dunedin landscape. We're pretty sad to see it happen. What we do know though, is that the city's in pretty good shape. Its unemployment's quite low. Its economic outlook's pretty good. So I'd imagine with the kind of support that both central and local government can give to those 300 people, we would expect a good proportion of them will be able to get some sort of work if that's what they want to do.
In the formal press conference, Mr. English and Mr. Turnbull both expressed their support for free trade agreements and hoped the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement could be revived without the support of the American administration. While not criticising President Donald Trump directly, Mr. Turnbull stated clearly the difference between Australia and New Zealand's policy on trade and that of America.
People can be persuaded, in some cases, that the answer is to throw up walls and to, stop trade, increase trading barriers to trade. My view, and I know Bill's position too, is that is absolutely the wrong thing to do. Free trade means more jobs, means more growth.
Earlier in the day, the two Prime Ministers laid wreath at Arrowtown Cenotaph. Lena Amso, The South Today.
One person is dead and another seriously injured after a crash on State Highway 1 at Glenavy, north of Oamaru this morning. Senior Sergeant Roy Apperley of the Canterbury District Command Centre said a car and a truck collided close to Whitney's Creek at around 9:45 this morning. One person died at the scene. Serious Crash Unit and other emergency services are in attendance. The New Zealand Transport Agency wishes to advise that the highway is closed and diversions are in place. The highway was not expected to be open until at least mid-afternoon or later. New Zealand's longest-serving mayor is turning 70 over the weekend. Invercargill Mayor and New Zealand icon Tim Shadbolt was surprised at an SIT orientation gig earlier today. He says he's got a few more years left in him yet. A surprise birthday celebration was likely the last thing on Mayor Tim Shadbolt's mind at today's SIT O-Week activities. The students were enjoying their usual food and musical entertainment when halfway through a song, the band started up, and what did they play? Happy Birthday. Well known for having a laugh, Shadbolt still laughs with his colleagues about his age.
Oh, Mayor Tim, aren't you getting a bit old? You're 70 now, and you're sure you're not feeling a bit like retiring or something? This is my councillors, of course, who all want to be mayors.
He says he's looking forward to celebrating the day with his family on Sunday. Happy birthday, Tim. After the break on The South Today, please do not adjust your set. Vacant retail space gets a little glitchy in central Dunedin. And coming up, the weekend's ODT and the weather. Slip, slop, slap, shove on a hat.
Dunedin is recognised by UNESCO as a city of literature. Find out how this came about and what it means for the city. In Dunedin, a city of literature, 7 p.m. Sundays. Proudly brought to you by Hard to Find Books.
For over 35 years, Roslyn Mowers and Heating have been selling and servicing outdoor power equipment and are well established in home heating, installing wood fires. Call in and meet the friendly team. Roslyn Mowers and Heating, 150 Kaikorai Valley Road.
The University of Otago, an institute of world-class education and the social epicentre of the city, with outfits needed for more formal functions like the ball and for less formal functions like
the zoo. Are you sure?
Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah, Dad, you'll definitely see me. I'm the one in the yellow and blue face paint and the onesie in the zoo.
is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know, in recent years, the number of New Zealanders dying from melanoma has been as high as the road toll?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Here is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know New Zealanders have the highest incidence rate of melanoma in the world?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
Travelling this weekend? Think slow.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
Get finance and get on the road. Talk to MTF today.
Thank you for choosing to stay with the South today. The potentially toxic blue-green algae cyanobacteria has been collected from the Tomahawk Lagoon in Dunedin, prompting a warning from the Otago Regional Council. People are advised to avoid contact with the waters of the lagoon, and in the meantime, please keep your dogs away too. Testing of a water sample taken from the lagoon yesterday by the ORC indicates the presence of high levels of the bacteria. Signs have been put up to warn the public of the risks associated with the algal bloom. Anyone experiencing health symptoms after contact with contaminated water should visit their doctor without delay. Dogs coming into contact with the cyanobacteria should be hosed down thoroughly in the first instance to remove it from their skin, and a veterinarian contacted should their condition worsen. ORC will continue to monitor and update the public as the bloom changes. Do not adjust your set for the next story. Stop right there. Two artists have created a project described as Reimagined Afterlife for Obsolete Technology. Planet Obsolescence is part of the Urban Dream brokerage scheme, which lets artists use vacant retail spaces.
If you've ever wondered what your discarded technology could be used for, Planet Obsolescence has the answer. Artists Erica Sklenas and Nikolai Sim have transformed a technological graveyard into a work of art. I'm Roselle Lavone. I'm here at the latest location of Urban Dream Brokerage on Princes Street to experience Planet Obsolescence, an audiovisual feedback loop made almost entirely of recycled materials. I'm just about to find out exactly how it works. Urban Dream Brokerage allows artists to stage short-term exhibitions in untenanted spaces. The idea is that the prospective tenant gets a glimpse of the potential of the space.
Well, the idea is just to bring life to what would otherwise be kind of a dead space. We don't get the tenants ourselves, like that's still up to the property owners, but yeah, it just it lifts it.
Discarded monitors are transformed in this exhibition, which strips technology of its components, deconstructing it, and then relies on the viewer to rebuild it again. The viewer is transported to an audiovisual soundscape through a helmet fitted with headphones, an iPhone and 3D lenses. I'm about to try out this custom-made helmet which has been specially designed by the artists for this exhibition, and Erica's going to come in and tell me a bit about how this works.
It's made with entirely recycled electronics. So all of the screens you see behind us here are old LCD screens that have been thrown out from various businesses, and we were donated them all by Cargill Enterprises, who work with recycling electronics. And we have pulled them apart and altered them so that you can't see what's on the image unless you're wearing one of these. And we've also got audio coming into these helmets. We've got mics around the room, and that's being altered and played back to you in a kind of echoey way. Working on this.
I can hear that. Like, as I'm talking to Erica now, I've got this reverberations. Urban Dream Brokerage's work can be found at Dunedin's upcoming Fringe Festival. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Cardboard robots are still cool. A Southern man is leading a program to teach children how to deal with pests humanely. His course includes information on trapping equipment and techniques for survival in our native forests, and he's looking for support from the community to extend his reach.
Possums, rats, stoats and feral cats. We know they wreak havoc in our native bush. Hi, I'm Ruby Spink in Ototo. We're a local man is teaching kids how to humanely dispose of pests.
10 traps for a child, which is an average about $100 a year it's cost for the traps, everything they need to do it, and us educators to educate them along the way, plus find them blocks if they don't already have their own farm blocks to trap.
The program relies on people sponsoring children to take part, to pay for the equipment, and the 3 educators who volunteer their time to teaching the skills required. Shane Wilson says he's hoping businesses and people in the community will provide support for this important project. The Regional Council says possums and other pests are widespread in Southland, and they're happy to help projects aimed at tackling this issue.
Yeah, Environment Southland is supportive of community groups when they want to set up for pest control. We support them in a number of ways. We can provide best practice advice and information. We can help with the training of how to do pest control. We can also point them in the right direction in terms of where they could go for funding, for other advice and information, and generally just make sure that they're on the right track and the group's going to be very successful.
Shane Wilson's been working on the program for 2 months, but only in the last 2 weeks has he been training the child he sponsors how to humanely trap and kill pests. This is a passion project for Wilson, who doesn't want the use of 1080 poison to become widespread in his own backyard. And he says after only 2 weeks, the results from the child he's been instructing are encouraging.
With his first 5 traps, he set out and then he got 2 possums, and he was absolutely over the moon.
Wilson says the most important skill he's teaching is how to look after and enjoy our environment. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
Time now to recap tonight's top stories on The South Today. The ETI union is refusing to let its members at Cadbury be gagged by the company after yesterday's closure announcement. A pair of kayakers had to be winched away by rescue helicopter after they became trapped on some rocks at Nugget Point yesterday. Good pictures. And the Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and Prime Minister Bill English are in Queenstown discussing the state of our nations. And I'm sure we'll find a lot more than just that in tomorrow's ADT. Phil, how are you?
Yes, good. I should mention the Cadbury thing because it is so big for Dunedin.
It's a very big story.
Several stories, including prospects for jobs for the workers, and Dunedin Dairy is boycotting Cadbury products, interestingly.
That's interesting. There's a whole story there.
Now, story 2 of a Dunedin helicopter pilot's been fighting the fires in Christchurch, and very interesting aerial pictures which some people see from how the fire destroys some houses and others just get left free. It's amazing how it's almost random at times.
It's an extraordinary thing to observe.
In the regions section, there's all sorts of course, but interesting story on the Blennerhassetts. He was a pathology professor in Dunedin for years. They're in Wanaka, but hardly retired, and at 80 odd, they started the Olive Grove wedding venue, which was famous for, of course, the McCall wedding. An interesting interview with them and their life story, and what they've done for the area.
How lovely and sweet.
The mix, of course, tomorrow.
Yep.
Major story from Shane Gilchrist, who's a skilled writer, and he's looking at that topic that's been covered before, but fresh angles on the Dunedin sound and the record shop. So a bit of nostalgia for a certain group.
Yes, for people of a certain vintage.
Certain vintage indeed. Travel, fashion, etc., through there. An interesting interview, and look at interview with a courier driver on the autism spectrum, and discussing autism and employment and the advantages and how that's going and how that works. So it's good stuff too.
Oh, it's a very packed read. Outstanding, Phil Somerville. Thank you so very much. All right, prepare thee. Time for the weather.
This weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
We'll start with today's Southern View. That is the Otapuni Gardens in Invercargill. I recognise that. The situation, an anticyclone blesses us with its presence all through tomorrow, bringing fine weather, mild temperatures, very warm inland too. It will, however, move away over the weekend, bringing a northerly airflow. That means more warm weather. Check this out. The southern outlook to Balclutha, light northerlies, fine, 24. Catlins, breezy nor'easterlies, a little cloudy, 18. Gore, light nor'easterlies, fine and 24. The same for Lumsden. Goodness me, that's pretty. And off to the central, well, Alexandra, light winds, fine, 28. I said 28. Queenstown, light winds, 27. Taona, moderate northerlies, a little cloudy, 23. Wanaka, light winds, fine, and 27. How can you beat that? Off to the north we go. Oamaru, breezy nor'easterlies, mostly cloudy, 18. Omarama, light winds, fine, 26. You're reading that right. Timaru, breezy nor'easterlies, a little cloudy, 18. Twizel, light winds, fine, and 26. What a weekend. In Dunedin tonight, low cloud, breezy nor'easters, 14 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy, fresh to strong nor'easterlies. Your lotto numbers are 14 and 17. Sunday and Monday, fine and sunny with milder temperatures and strong nor'easterlies unabated. 14 and 19 are your numbers. But check out the Invercargill. Tonight, of course, it's fine. It's beautiful. It's 11 degrees. It's Invercargill. Saturday and Sunday, fine and Sunday. Scattered high cloud and mild northerlies. Saturday, 12 and 21. Sunday, warmer at 14 and 23. Back to work on Monday with freshening northerlies and high cloud increasing. And goodness me, I get to leave you this evening with some shots of the week that was, and what a hell of a week it's been. Flooding, factory closures, sea lions marauding and getting in the way of kayakers. Come on, you guys know what's up. So on behalf of all the good people working on your behalf in Queenstown, Invercargill, Balclutha and Dunedin, it has been my pleasure to present The South Today. I'm Craig Story. Goodbye.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.